All right, welcome to Greg and Andy Unleashed. We are back, and we are back with Caleb Bunch.
Sup, boys?
How are we feeling today, Caleb?
Full. I just had a mad feed from Glenda Holwatty. Shout out to her. Oh, mate. Definitely not single person cooking. Right? Yeah, that is a proper feed at the Holwatty house.
Yeah, it was good, man. That's what we needed before this podcast. A good feed, bit of fellowship. We had the Gears there, mate. Had a good chat.
Yeah.
Mate, if you haven't seen the Gears episode, look back. We did do them a while back. And yeah, we had a good night, good feed, and now I'm ready for chat. I hope I don't fall asleep, mate, you know.
Bro, I had one of those muffins. Bro, they were so good. I was looking at it going, I really want a second one. If I have a second one, I'm going to be sitting here like either feeling sick or like feeling just so full that I'm just going to be like, ugh. So I refrained and I didn't have a second one. I just had more ice cream. Alright, so...
Yeah, balanced diet right there.
Yeah, that's it.
Big facts. So yeah, we mixed it up. We don't miss out on
Did we mention he works for a fitness company?
Yeah, that's it.
Who does? Who does? It's good to be back. It was delicious food, so no, definitely worth it.
Yeah, and I appreciate Caleb coming on the podcast, mate.
Look, as someone that's listened to a lot of podcasts driving around, it's actually so fun to be here making one. Thanks for inviting me, honestly.
Actually, have you listened to much Greg and Andy Unleashed, mate?
100%. I've listened to every episode so far.
Hey, let's go. Wait, mate, come on. That's legendary, mate. What are your thoughts, man? Is it improving?
Yeah. Look, shout out to the viewers. You guys are going to get some better video quality due to Jamie Holowatty. So if you see him on the streets, give him a high five because you might be able to actually see like the moles on my face. Yeah,
we might be able to see Greg's haircut.
We literally just figured out how to increase the quality of the video. So there you go on an iPhone. We didn't even realize that.
Look, the only thing that I've been as just a listener, not a watcher, because I listen to it whilst driving. I'm like, oh man. Really hope when I use my microphone, I use it properly. And so
yeah.
But we play with the levels.
Well, you are almost eating it right now, so that's good, man.
Well, I think that's what they're... Oh, yeah.
Well, that's what they're made for. That's what they're made for, bro.
If this goes south, you'll know for the next guest, hey, keep that thing away from your schnoz. Right?
Nah, that's
all right. It's now the levels will be pretty accurate then.
Yeah, hopefully.
If I sit back here, okay, what's sitting there? Should be pretty good.
Yeah, that's it. But Caleb, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself, mate? Actually, I wanted to ask you as well. You just moved from Toowoomba a few years ago. What was that experience like for you, mate?
So, finished high school 2015, took a gap year for 2016, worked at Macca's, saved money, bought a car, and I had already been accepted into uni through QTAC at QUT, and so my plan was to come down here and do a Bachelor of Landscape Architecture.
Yeah.
That was a 4-year course, and so 2017, starting to figure out how I was going to make that happen, and I think end of 2016, Paul Haycock came up and preached for Dad. And when the time came around to moving, Paul was like, hey, we could probably put your boy up for a while at least. So that's how the connection was made. And then I had someone to move to down here. And then I had a place to live, and I also had a church all in one go.
Yeah. So you moved in with the Haycocks originally. That's right. I remember that. Yeah, that's good.
Back when Tim was in grade 10. So.
Oh, was it that long ago?
Dude, I've been here. This is my 7th year of being here.
Wow, what? That's crazy, man. Well, there you go. Well, you fit right in the church, and that's good, man.
Thanks, bud.
How are you finding the ministries you're involved in now? I know you're in Sunday school and song leading.
I'm a music person, so I love doing the music ministries. It can be a bit taxing. Look, last night to our viewers who go to Good Shepherd, pray for Andrew Barnes, the guy's in a bad way, because he wasn't there yesterday. A lot of moving around had to happen amongst the schedule and stuff. So sometimes it's not easy, but I definitely enjoy getting up and doing that.
Yeah, it's a good challenge, eh? It's rewarding because you're doing it for God too. You know, it's good, man. Awesome.
Bro, I gotta ask, how do you go about your selection for what songs we're gonna sing? Whenever you're there, mate, song leading, I'm always really encouraged, always blessed by the songs.
Thanks.
So
that's because I pray before I start. I'm like, Lord, give me the songs that you want sung on Sunday. I'm not always confident I pick the right ones, but I always start out with prayer and try and double check as I go through the process. And having did this back at my dad's church when I was younger, I know you always got to. There's a bit of a way to do it, a code. You always start out with a banger, and then the end one's got to be contemplative.
Yeah.
So you kind of like go like that when it comes to how you pick the songs. So go back to the hymn book. There's Power in the Blood, At the Cross, something upbeat, something moving for the first two songs. Get the people worn out, so when they sit down, they're like, oh. And then,
But you can't sit
then
down.
you
mate.
hit him
You're
with the
still-
offering, all right?
Yeah, they're already exhausted. They might
Just
as well just
chuck a
give-
bit of money in.
There's no resistance. Right?
Wow.
So,
that's jokes.
but coming here, I had to learn some new songs. I
Yeah.
didn't have a lot of choruses when I was in my dad's church, so I've had to learn some things, but worked it all together. Shout out to John Chong for teaching me a lot of the ways there as well.
That's good, man. Nah, that definitely one thing I noticed when your song leading, man, is the passion, like your energy. I really enjoy it. It's something you need, like when you're doing something for God, even just any ministry at all, man. When you have that desire, that passion, man, that's what people see, and like that's what makes it, man.
Cheers, man. Appreciate it.
Nah, that's no worries, bro. Yeah. So actually, I was gonna ask, for the people that don't know, do you want to just talk a bit about your family, about your dad's
Yeah, sure.
church and stuff? Yeah.
So, my name's Caleb Bunch. My dad is Tim Bunch, Pastor Tim Bunch of Garden City Baptist Church, up at Toowoomba, 2 hours west of Brisbane. He took that on in 2008, if I remember correctly, and he's been the pastor ever since after an American missionary. And my family and the Jacksons came together and we started that church.
Yeah. Right.
So Dad's been pastoring there since then. So most of my childhood my dad has been my pastor, which is kind of odd, but the blessing is the amount of biblical knowledge I've had available to me through the years. And when you have a problem and you're like, Dad, I need some advice, he's just got, you're like, well, son, look at this. Here's some experience, but here's what God's done in my life. Here's how he's worked in the Bible, and just been able to help out with that so much. My mum, Gwyneth, is her name. Absolute champion of a mum.
She is. Shout out.
She's kept me well fed despite the fact that I'm still skin and bones. It's probably just my own fault there, I imagine. No hate on mum at all. Love her to bits. Except for that one paisley tie she bought me, and that's
Wait, what?
she bought me a paisley tie once, and I was just like,
Throw that in the bin, mate. That's crazy.
God, paisley tie.
Like,
What's wrong with that?
I don't like the pattern. of
What?
paisley.
She'd given it to me. Not that you would have known me then or whatever, but
No.
give it to me if you.
mate, stick to
give
the
it,
bow
just
ties,
give it to
mate.
me.
Stick to the bow ties.
Andy, you don't even wear a collared shirt to church. What are you talking about? Rolling in here. I'm just wearing my knit today. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, no, I'm kidding.
Nah, it's good, man.
So that's my mum. She, full-time mum for the first half of my life, and then once we became teenagers, to make ends meet, she took up a job at a gym called Kurt's. It's a women's-only gym. I think the franchise has ended now. I'm not sure, but at least her branch closed. So she was jobless for a few years. But then she picked up her current job at a clothing store line called Rivers.
Oh, yep.
And she works there, and to this day I keep getting every Christmas, every birthday, just a new set of shorts and t-shirts, and Mom's like, you need these, and I'm like, Mum, I have no more room in my drawer. Alright. She's like, well, you need to do a clean out. I'm like, what, from the shirts from last year?
Yeah, literally.
So bless her soul, love her.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm the oldest of 4 children.
Mm-hmm.
So there's me, 2 sisters, Abigail Bunch, and then Grace Bunch, and then my brother Ben. He's 7 years younger than me, so there's 1 year between me and Abigail. I think 3 years between me and Grace.
Wow.
Abigail's getting married in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
To another guy named Caleb, because apparently the world didn't have enough of us. So Caleb was a popular name at some point. So yeah, very excited for her to get married. She really loves him. And he's a really solid man of God as well.
Yeah.
Caleb Surratt, missionaries to Mauritius, the family was for a while. She's an entrepreneur. Abigail is, if she's had her own piano teaching business for a good number of years, and if she's probably one of the best door knocking and letterboxing person that the people have up there as well.
Yeah, right.
She's
awesome.
led a couple of people to the Lord through the years.
Yeah, well.
Then there's Grace, who love the bits. Definitely the heart of the family, I'd say. Brings the life, brings the
Brings
joy.
energy, mate. Yeah.
Nicknames everyone. It's pretty impressive. I came back home one year and found out that Ben had renamed Beano. I was like, what have I missed? And they're like, oh, just go talk to Beano. I was like, who's Beano? And they're like, Ben. Big Ben? I'm like, oh, Yeah. Also, when did Big Ben happen?
Yeah.
She's a groundskeeper. Inherited mum's green thumb. I thought I did, but I was wrong. But Grace definitely got it. Oh no! If you have any question about plants, Grace can sort you out. Hard worker. I'm pretty sure she can still beat me in an arm wrestle. All right, she's got the guns to go with the attitude. All right, don't mess with that girl. Love and respect her. Then my man Ben has just graduated school, done a missions trip to Fiji with Australian youth. Some missions international thing. On fire for God. He was considering doing Bible college here with us at Bible Institute, actually. And he's just decided to do plumbing. So
Plumbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Good on him.
So yeah,
That's
my
awesome,
family.
bro. And my question to you would be, so when you, like growing up, I never experienced this. Growing up as a pastor's son, what's that like? Do you feel like you have to do this because my dad's this? Do you feel that responsibility, that pressure? What was it like?
Yeah. Yes. That comes to an extent to, I mean, any oldest child, you just kind of become, since that's the one, if there's someone else relying, like, oh, where's my oldest kid? Let's ask them to do the thing.
Yeah.
So that happens.
Excuse
But
me.
yeah, no, there's definitely been a bit of pressure on me through the years by various people. But, oh, you're going into ministry? Like, you're going to follow your dad's footsteps? And I'm like, I don't know. I've heard multiple people like talk about the call of God.
Yeah.
And they're like, what do you feel? I'm like, well, I haven't got any calls recently, so no.
That's good though, man. If you're not called, you're not supposed to go.
Yeah.
That's good.
And I remember hearing a message about that as well. So I was like, okay, good. So
No, that's good, bro.
But no, happy to help out. Although after a while, it's a bit like I moved here and I was like, great, I don't have to help out anyone anymore.
Yeah,
I'm going to
exactly.
sit back and relax.
Yeah. Don't need that pressure. But my question, so when you move from Toowoomba, you come to Brisbane, you're all alone now. You've lived, Toowoomba's pretty like just small and everyone knows everyone. You move to this place. What's it like dealing with the pressures as a young Christian guy? You no longer have your dad. No one, all your people you've known your whole life, they're not looking at you. You can do whatever you want. Where do you find the strength to not give in to temptation? Things like this.
It's the answer that you're always going to hear. It's having a personal walk with God.
Yeah.
My dad gave a sermon back in my mid-teen years. I can't remember exactly when, but basically it was kind of an ultimatum he gave. Sorry, he said, if you're over 15, you should be reading the Bible through once every year.
Wow.
Right? And he put that to his whole church. So I'm not sure. I think it took me 2 years to actually manage to get to reading the Bible through every year. But since then, I've done it almost every year. And that will keep you, if you just make sure you stay on that, that'll keep you, you can be a comatose Christian, but it'll still keep you alive. And coming here, I'm just like everyone else. I'm not perfect, so I've made a lot of mistakes whilst I've lived here. What's the rating for this podcast? How honest do we want to be?
Mate, go as deep as you want, bro. Yeah.
So yeah, I've been to a couple bars in that time. Never enjoyed being there. Always regretted it after leaving. But it just comes back to, hey, what's your walk with God? You're in the Bible, you're praying. But then, thankfully, having a great, solid church base to literally just walk into when I moved in here. It took about 3 months, but the first person that I got to know was Dan Clifford.
Yes.
And so I came alongside him, and we were just doing bulletins, and he and I would chat, and then it would be. I think I started to get to know your Uncle Danny a little bit. I was literally the youngest young adult at the time.
Right. A different crowd back then, eh?
It was me, Alicia, and John were like the 18,
Really?
19-year-olds.
Yeah.
Wow.
And everyone else it was like back when the Escoyoses were like part of young adults. Free their children.
Yeah, right, yeah. That's a while ago, man.
Wow.
There you go.
So, but so between your personal walk with God and having some solid biblical teaching at church, just make sure it kept me on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, so you'd say making sure your faith is your own. And
100%.
that's good, man.
Was there so just jumping on that, was there a certain point in time maybe a day or a period of time where you remember, as Greg kind of asked, is there a certain point in time where it was kind of went from, okay, you did all these things because, your family did them or your dad did them, like, because you grew up, as you said, PK, pastor's kid, and then there was like kind of like a point in time where it became, okay, now it's actually my own.
I would say, as I grew up, as I became a teenager, I mean, you start to understand more about the world just in general as a teen. So it started around then. I was like, okay, well, I need to. Mum and dad didn't enforce growing up reading the Bible. They bought me a 1-year Bible, and then dad gave that message, but it wasn't something that they were like, oh, are you reading your Bible tonight or anything? It was, well, at least not that I can remember. It was just a personal choice even back then. As a teenager, I really struggled. My walk with God suffered a lot as a teenager. I never liked being a teenager. It was they had a lot of questions, and there wasn't a lot of, I didn't find a lot of answers. And but I two things kept me going for God. The first was, well, I know my dad's pretty switched on. He wouldn't believe this if there wasn't something in it. And I made sure I just kept diligently reading the 1-year Bible. Through my high school years. And as I came out at the other end of senior high, so end of grade 10, started grade 11, that's when I was really like, all right, this is my faith. That's what I choose to do.
That's awesome, man.
Was with that 1-year Bible, so for the viewers, is there, like, how many chapters do you need to read the Bible in a year?
That particular, so the 1 year is like a brand. You can get the 1-year devotions for men, the 1-year devotions for women, the 1-year promises for, so it's a whole thing. So that's automatically divided up into 3 sections a day. There's Old Testament, New Testament, and a Psalm and a Proverb every day. So you don't have to flip. It's already.
It's already
you just turn to the next page.
Yeah, cool.
I've got the same. You can get it on your phone now as well.
Yeah, right. Okay.
I switched to chronological this year, but it's out there.
Good on you, man.
Cool. Okay, so it's about 3-4 chapters a day, kind of thing.
Yeah, it depends on the day. I mean, sometimes you'll hit Chronicles and it'll be like 5 chapters of Chronicles and then like 1 chapter of Acts. And
okay.
So it's not always equal in the Old New Testaments, but you end up going through Psalms and Proverbs twice in the year.
Oh, okay, nice. So you get through a couple. Yeah. Oh, cool.
I was gonna ask, man. Firstly, I was gonna say good, congrats and like good job that you've taken on the Sunday school role. That's really cool, man. And I know my dad did that for many years, and it was a big challenge. So, firstly, how are you finding that? And secondly, where do you sort of want to see it this year? What are your goals?
Well, in this year, things are changing. Pastor Lloyd asked me to take that on, and he gave me a week to think about it. He was like, hey, so next Sunday, let me know if you want to take on the Sunday school ministry. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Asked the Lord. I didn't get too much of a response back from him as far as I could tell. I was like, well, I think I can do it.
Yeah.
So I did. It was a bit of a learning curve for me, especially because COVID hit like the next year. And I was like, well,
that's hard, isn't it?
So much responsibility right now. No one's at church. But it's I'd say it's a challenge, mostly because of my personality.
Okay.
Having lived after I moved out of the Haycocks, I lived with a guy named Steve Bramlett. Glad he took me in. But just living the single life, I've just grown very accustomed to watching out for one person and doing everything myself. So learning how to run a team, I'm not good at. I'm still not good at to this day. So pastors appointed Jabez over me and over Asher being in charge of Friday night Impact Kids. So I'm still learning how to do that.
Right.
So my leadership style last year was like, is everyone okay doing their own thing?
Yeah.
Great. I'll do my own thing over here. And
yeah.
Whereas this year we're much more interconnected, and I'm learning, okay, I've got to check in with other people. make sure we're all on the same page on things. Let's have regular meetings. What is the vision we're going to have? And again, I'm not a long-term planner. So when people ask me vision, I'm like, we had the
Rock up on Sunday.
pretty much. Look, when I worked at Domino's, we wouldn't get the roster for the week until Sunday night, the week of. So I was for like 2-3 years, I was used to just living one week at a time.
Literally.
So when we had that, just recently the Holiday Bible Kids meeting for September, I'm like, what are you doing in September? You going to be there? I'm like, bro, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing in June. Ask me what I'm doing in September is like ask me what I'm doing for 20 years now.
Yeah, literally.
My plans extend to going on holidays in the end of March. That's it.
Yeah.
So, do I have a vision for it? No, but just based on my own Sunday school experience and what the Bible teaches us, the goals that I have for the kids under me is that they want to know God, and that they have a relationship with Him. If that's something I can instill in them, I think I've done what I need to do. Maybe I haven't. Maybe I need to do more. But I just want to make sure at least they know who God is, and they want to keep pursuing Him.
That's good, man. Yeah, 100%. And so when did you think you sort of? Is it sort of something you've always had, like a passion for, like the Sunday school age group, or is that sort of grown on you? How's that all happened?
I've always had a pretty good connection with kids.
Yep.
Because I'm a big kid.
Yeah.
I think people saw me out there playing on the playground with the kids with holding a guitar on top of the of the thing, and they were like, "Yeah, that guy's gonna be good with the convening the kids." Not sure that was accurate, but I do stem it back to grade 4. My grade 4 teacher was called Mr. Hartshorn. It always stands out in my mind because he was totally fine with just sitting down at our desk, like literally on these tiny little chairs, and just having a chat with us.
That's
treating us. Wow. It felt like he was treating us like adults.
Yeah.
And so I've always, because of that, I've always just looked at kids like, oh great, well, I can just have a chat with them. They're fine. Yeah. Maybe we see he looks at his drawing as something amazing. Where I was like, well, that's look okay, but maybe he looks at my car and thinks, well, it's just a thing on 4 wheels, and really before God, what's important?
Exactly, man.
So I've just always tried to just get along with kids.
That's awesome, bro. Oh.
Far out. So just sidetrack there. Oh, since you started talking about your car. Mate, no, shout out to your car, honestly. Little orange Yaris.
Yes, fuel efficiency is insane.
100%.
The clutch is insane.
Alright, picture this, alright? Yeah, true. Caleb's in the front seat. I'm next to him. In the back is Greg and his brother, who's the same size as him.
Absolute units in the back seat.
With some luggage in the back of it. This car is like, bro, you could not fit a piece of paper between those tyres and the underside of the car.
Absolute fact.
What is it, Corolla?
It was just like driving along.
Yaris, that's it, yeah.
Man, like, this is literally how it's driving along. Bro.
Yeah, that TNS trip was
so funny.
That was
special.
Jokes, man, yeah.
Look, definitely, I was like, surely one of the big boys will sit in the front seat, like, bounce out. They're both like, I'll take it the back. I was like, okay, I guess we're wheeling it down the highway.
2 wheels, mate. That was so fun,
Bro,
man.
good thing it was a nice sunny day, no rain. Otherwise we would just sat there spinning wheels.
Bro, that hill going to the car park. Oh my goodness.
Well, about that, mate.
For you wonderful viewers out there, there's a young adult conference which I recommend you attend. True North Summit down in Sydney, held by Faith Baptist. We went there as a crew last year, and having gone to the Gold Coast for our retreat and years prior, I came to realise, you know what? Sitting at home and not having the freedom to leave, that kind of sucks. Alright, so I'm going to bring my car down this year. Right? And so I volunteered to drive, and then I got given these guys. And I was like,
the smallest car against the biggest guys, bro.
Yeah. Next year, if Jo volunteers her car, I'll just drive hers. But we get down to TNS, get to this hotel, pull up to the driveway, which is a ramp, probably, 45, 30 degree
it's
ramp.
steep, bro.
It's steep. And I just do what I always do, right? When there's only one of them in the car, you just up the revs, pop the clutch, press the accelerator, and off we go. It's pretty simple. But this time, I had a bit of extra weight. It's probably just because we ate. That's all it was, really. But I revved that thing right up, popped the clutch, and there was probably a little bit of smoke coming out of the gear stick. It was we shot up there. All the boys scrambled out because I thought they were dying of smoke inhalation. I don't know what their problem was, honestly. Just need to toughen up.
Bro, you could smell the clutch the next morning still. You could literally, I kid you not. The whole car park stunk. Literally, I was like feeling sorry for the just random people that were driving up after us, right? Then I pulled in and probably like, oh, I'm going to die of some intoxicating waste or something. It's like nuclear bomb go off or something. Man,
it was so good.
Bad.
Mate, that whole trip was jokes,
next level.
And then the music, bro, head out the window. This guy.
The hat?
Yeah. Oh, the hat, that was great. So, no, it was a good time. But yeah, shout out to your car, mate. That has,
Look,
has been places.
As one of my life mottos, live and learn. All right, so now next year, we're not taking the Yaris. Right?
Yo, next time we get to the Meriton, right, the suites, to go up. That was like, alright boys, jump out. He goes up by himself. And it was alright that time. Nah, it's good, man. I wanted to ask this question. And Greg kind of touched a bit on it before. When you're up there song leading, right? You've always got that passion, got that joy about you. And I noticed it about you quite a lot as well. Is there some things that you either think on generally throughout the day? What really helps you stay joyful and passionate, as a general theme?
As a general thing?
Yeah. And while I was thinking about that, guys, don't forget to go ahead and subscribe.
Oh, this guy.
That's smooth.
One of the biggest witnesses you can have is an attitude that says, I'm content in life.
Yeah.
So, and that's hard to maintain. It really is. But I do it, I guess, because I've been a Christian for a long time. I got saved way back in 2004, 2005. So I've known the Lord for a long time. So there's not something I actively do too much every day. But I think just having the Lord in you and the best way I can explain it is when I was having a down period. I had a slump in my life. I forget what it was, but I remember my manager was like, "Oh man, I miss the old Caleb," and I was like, "What do you mean? I'm exactly the same." But clearly, I wasn't. From an outsider's view, something had changed, and so I was like, "Oh." So I think I just took an examination, and having my dad as a pastor, you can trace almost any problem you're suffering with. You're like, "Great, you might be suffering with A, B, and Z. How's your walk with God doing?" You're like, "Oh, that's right. Got to get back into the scriptures and just spending time with the Lord." I try and pray on the way to work every day, and I learned. I forget when it happened, but I make it a daily prayer. Lord, there's two things I pray daily. Lord, guard my head, my heart, my eyes, and my mouth. Because those are some of my weakest areas. And Lord, give me your strength to live this day in a righteous and holy way. Because I don't have the strength to do it on my own. I can wing it. I'm great at winging things.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean I'm doing God a service by winging it.
No.
And it doesn't mean I'm going to be a great witness. So I'm going to guess that prayer just gets answered every day. And he just gives me the strength to be the person that I need to be and the person that he wants me to be.
Amen. That's so cool, man. Oh, yeah. So, listeners, take some of that on board.
Go for it.
Yeah. Asking God for those things, in the morning, or, setting yourself up for the day with thinking about, as you've said, about God and spending that time with him. That's where I think it's kind of been like a bit of a theme over the last bit, having that relationship with God.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on it on the last podcast.
Yeah.
Relationship with God.
Yep.
And being close to him.
100%, man.
That's
It's
awesome.
good. Yeah, I think the thing about relationship with God is like you don't just I really like how you said you pray on your way to work. It's like you don't just wake up at whatever time you wake up and have your 10-minute Bible reading, 10-minute prayer, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, it's supposed to be a throughout the day you're spending time in prayer. Like, that's where you really get that relationship feel. You know.
I think it was last year. With the 1 year, like I said, it's got the Old Testament, New Testament, Psalm, Proverb.
Yeah.
If depending on how much you want to meditate and dig into what you're reading, it can take a while. It can take between 15 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
So I was finding the way I read it, it'd take nearly an hour. I was like, I'm a lazy bugger, so I hate getting up early. So I was like, I'm not getting up an hour early to read my Bible. I'll get up half an hour early and read half of it. And I was like, the other half I'll do at night.
That's smart.
So did that for a while, but then last year, I think I was thinking on Daniel and how he said he prayed 3 times a day. And I know part of the downside of having a spiritual time in the morning. I shouldn't put air quotes. It is a spiritual time in the morning. But then by midday, after 5 hours of working, I'm not thinking spiritual things. I'm like, right, where's that playlist I made 2 days ago? I'm going to listen to some absolute bangers from the world.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so I was like, midday, I'm just back to being worldly old me. And so I was like, so the last year, I was like, it's split into three portions a day.
That's good, man.
Not just because it made things easier on my time, but also I get to midday and then I would be forced to go back to God's word. So maybe that's what's helped as well.
100%.
So just there's a bit in the morning, a bit in the middle of the day, and then a bit at the end of the day.
That's so good, bro. Yeah, I've never even considered that, man. Yeah, it's good though.
I get to midday and I think it's like a chapter. So there's just one chapter, read through twice.
Yeah.
Thank God for anything that stood out for me, and then continue on with my day. But I've had that kind of reset, that midday reset.
100%, man. And the fact you're taking time out of your day to do that too, it just shows you committing yourself. You're trying to put God first. That's good, man.
Trying.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm succeeding.
Yeah. Well, we can see it, like Andy and I. We see it all the time, bro. Like the way you're the joy of the Lord. That's what I'd say you got, bro. You know what I mean?
I appreciate it.
Nah, no worries, bro.
Yeah, man. There's only just to testify. There's been multiple times that I've come into church and just been a little bit down, or I had some stuff going on, and I've been encouraged by either you up there song leading or just talking to you personally. So I genuinely appreciate it.
Well, I just aim to have the attitude of Andy, right there, with the positivity that you have.
That's it. Jump up and down, guys. Hey, what gives you energy, guys? Is it food? No,
it's the Greg and Andy podcast. That's what it is, boys.
Let's go, Clipper.
Oh,
dude, that's
Can you plug your podcast in the podcast?
Movement.
Mate.
Bro, you're plugging the podcast.
Bro, I love it. You know what? Next time I'm just gonna let you go ahead and just tell everyone to subscribe, comment, etc.
Look, I figure. I'm super happy to be here. So if I can support you guys, whatever I can.
Yeah.
No, we love it, mate.
I almost gave you a
It's
plug on
support.
stage on Sunday. Oh.
Dude, you got it now.
I nearly did, but
No,
rewind a couple months. I sat down with Andrew, and he was like, "Look, appreciate what you do on stage. You're gonna have to cut back in some areas." And one of them was like not giving like name shout outs to anyone. Well, at the time, right?
We'll allow you.
At the time, it was. And it was just so that he had a good point behind it. It was just, for visitors who don't know who people are. Who's so-and-so.
Yeah.
So it was just to make things run smoother. So I
yeah.
totally understand and agreed with him. But yeah, back then I would just look over at like Lisa and be like, man, that's a good offering choice. Good job, Lisa. And so we didn't have the announcements video again. Pray for Barnsley because he makes those. But I was going to be like, what's some jokes I can make from the announcements video? I was like, oh, get ready to wash your car, guys. Joe's looking to clean the other side this week. And then it was going to be like, and something else I was going to plug for you guys.
Oh, my goodness. That's crazy.
That's too good.
Nah, that's good, man.
Too good.
Nah, well, we appreciate you coming on, man. And wait, my last question for you would be, you have the viewers here, mate. What would you like to say to them, bro? What's some advice? What's something that you've learnt recently? What do you got to say?
Something that really stood out to me recently, you say recently, and that was a couple of months back. It was that Samson was used by God, but he could have been used a whole lot more if he stuck with God.
Yeah.
That came from my Sunday school lesson book. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So God can use us, but he can use you a whole lot more if you're connected to him. And I was like, wow, that's something really stuck with me. To the viewers out there, something that the biggest thing I've tried to do over literally the past 10 years of my life, as soon as I got out of high school, got a job, being a witness can be as simple as just telling people, people are like, what'd you do on the weekend? I went to church. And it is nerve-wracking. I still struggle to talk about God at work, but if you could just start up how's your weekend? Yeah, good. What'd you do? What do you do? Went to church. Oh, you went to church, eh? Yeah. I love going there every week. And it can just be as simple as that, being, hey, you know what? I love my church.
Yeah.
That's a good, simple way to open up a conversation, potentially. And it takes like some getting used to, but I'm still getting used to doing it, trying to be a better witness. But, I mean, for those of you that didn't listen to Pastor Shemish's message yesterday, go listen to that, because it was... I had to leave halfway through and just hit the altar back here in the office. I was like, Lord, we've got so little time.
Yeah.
So little time to pull others from the fire. So try and be a witness. Just, if there's any really one last piece of advice, it's just, really do try and read the Bible through once every year. It will change you. It's God showed me so much through it, and it'll just help your knowledge of and understanding of Christianity grow. Amazingly as well.
Awesome, bro. That's awesome, man.
That's awesome, guys. While you're going ahead and watching that message from Pastor Shemish,
not right now though. After this.
Yeah, that's right. after you've watched this, make sure you also go and look during the announcements. Greg gave a bit of a rundown of PNG and some upcoming stuff they got planned for PNG, guys. So super exciting stuff. So have a look at that too.
Part of the most exciting bit of that was that he wrote down his notes in the journal. That
Yes,
mate. So good.
But I've been having chats to Andy all afternoon about stuff he's trying to fix in his own life, and he doesn't have a journal. Don't you have a journal?
Oh no, yeah, I do.
Oh, you just haven't been writing in it.
Oh, well.
Well, see, so no hate on Greg. Right? Even hate on both of them.
I've got some stuff written down for today.
Actually, no. I remember because inspired. Did you see my post on the young adult page a couple of days ago?
Other day?
Yeah. Comment what you're reading. I was listening to the first episode of the year and like what goals are. And I have my goals here if you want to read them.
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, I printed it out because I was like, if I don't print them out, I'm not going to remember what they are. So I'm going to stick them on the wall.
I've still got a spare journal that I haven't taken back to Kmart yet.
Do you know what's crazy?
It's blue and it's got leaves on it.
Do you know what's crazy, mate? The random.
It's another one that it's the one that Greg didn't choose.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've still got that one.
Do you know what I find crazy?
What?
The random gibber we speak, mate. We have listeners that do it, bro. That literally write the goals.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
See, bro, that's why you set the example,
Caleb,
mate.
You're a real one for that, mate.
Here we go.
You are a
Right, so
real
this
one.
again, this is gonna blow your minds because I was inspired by the podcast with Pastor Saka.
Oh yeah! Wow.
I can't remember if exactly his words, but basically it was the Christian life is a life of discipline. So this year I was like, I'm gonna be disciplined. I gotta pick some areas. So this year it says the top of this note here is discipline. Resolution for 2024. Areas to be disciplined in: health. I need exercise, eat less sugar, help my dental health, finances. Want to try and save up and go to America next year, so $20 put aside every week. Spiritual. Want to read 2 spiritual books that isn't the Bible. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here. Sorry, just reading the list.
No, that's fair, man.
Keep up Bible reading. Resist worldliness and temptation. No idols or addictions. It's been doom scrolling recently. And I'm like, no. Look, if you can't give it up, then it's got too much of your heart.
It's true.
Friendships. Want to deepen them. Want to meet with Tim bi-monthly, so every 2 months if I can. And then I got a couple links here. I was doing some research into friendship, and I found this great quote. You can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by getting other people to be interested in you.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. So basically, it's like, are you paying attention to other people?
Yeah.
So
that's awesome, bro. Mate, there you go. I'm amazed. Awesome. I'm so happy you did that, man. There you go.
All inspired by the Greg and
That is awesome. I reckon next week we're going to see Greg.
That and the Lord, There's like the Lord, and then there's you underneath. The Bible, and then there's like the podcast.
Thanks, bro.
Maybe Daddy's in between there somewhere.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is a bit of a testimony to me, man. When we first started this podcast, it was like, for me personally, it was a bit of a joke. Like, I wasn't really taking it serious, but to see people genuinely be helped in a Christian sense, in a godly way, is like unreal, and that makes me feel so encouraged.
I remember
to keep
chatting
going.
with Andy at the end of TNS last year, and this was one of the outcomes of you felt the Lord
That's
saying
right, yeah.
that
Yeah,
you
right.
wanted to pass
Yeah.
on knowledge a bit more.
Yeah. Well, I definitely have felt that the spiritual side a bit more recently, like just knowing that this can actually be used for good. Like, I was talking to Pastor the other day. I was like, how many like Christian podcasts, like from the Baptist circle, not like Baptist is like the only one, but like from the circles that we know of, kind of thing, are there? It's like there's a lot of churches that will like upload their messages and stuff like that. Like a lot of churches do that, but actual Christian podcasts like this, there's not many, man. So I'm pretty stoked to see
Yeah.
how far we can go. You know.
Yeah,
So,
100%.
Oh, it's
There's
good.
Ray and Stats. Shout out to Ray.
Yeah,
and
Brain Stats another big one.
There's-
Yeah.
I've never
100%
listened to them.
taking-
I
You
listen to
should,
you guys.
definitely.
Same as-
They're
yeah, I've
good.
listened to a lot of.
They're good. They're really chill.
theirs,
They're
so,
really chill.
yeah,
Sweet.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's been awesome having you on. We appreciate it,
Thank
guys.
you again.
Again, don't forget to continue to pray for Barnsey. Yeah, he's still in hospital.
He's getting an MRI either today or tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
When
so
when this
prayers.
does come out, he might
When,
be
when,
better
yeah,
by
when,
now.
True.
when this
Yeah.
comes
True.
out, he'll be right as right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we pray so. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, obviously prayer for recovery, continue recovery.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's been great, mate.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed this, bro.
Yeah.
It's been awesome.
Having you on.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Cool, guys. Again, don't forget to go ahead and comment below. Let us know any feedback about the podcast. We would love to hear your thoughts. And also, please encourage Greg to keep using his journal. All right, guys, that's all. It's Greg and Angie Unleashed.